Let's get into it. What happens when a seemingly ordinary car ride turns into a shocking, calculated act that looks, high-key like premeditated murder? Buckle up.
Hi, I'm Emma, and I'm in a reflective mood today. This one's messy, tragic, and honestly, kind of terrifying. We're talking about trust, control, and digital breadcrumbs that don't lie. Big yikes.
So, picture this. Early morning in 2022, Strongsville, Ohio. A Toyota Camry barrels straight across a T intersection and slams into the corner of a brick wall at an industrial building called Pleco. In that car are 3 teenagers and young adults. Only the driver survives. The court later calls it premeditated. 2 lives are gone, 1 life is forever changed, and the receipts are digital.
Before I spill the tea on the case, I need to tell you why this hit me hard. Years ago, I had a near miss in a rideshare. The driver took a turn way too fast on a rainy night. Tire skidded, my phone flew, my heart did a full gymnastics routine. We didn't crash, but it was that split second where you realize, oh, I'm not in control. I'm literally trusting someone else with my life. And when that trust snaps, even for a moment, your brain never forgets it. Ever since, I clock who's driving, how they drive, where they're going, because one decision can reroute your whole future. So when I heard about this crash, and then that prosecutor said it wasn't an accident, I felt that cold drop in my stomach. Like not me, but me. Okay, let's move on. Here's the simple version. We have what looks like a dark twist on a high school romance. Boy meets girl, the vibe is intense, and then the plot takes a murderous turn. The bones of the story are the timeline and the tech. CCTV video shows the Camry turning onto a quiet road just before dawn, then, minutes later, accelerating straight into that brick corner. The car's event data recorder, think of it like the car's little black box that logs throttle and braking, shows gas pressed, no brakes. And GPS puts the driver in that area days before, like a scouting run. It's like the universe said, here are the receipts, honey. Let's talk people. The driver is Mackenzie Sharilla. She grew up in Strongsville, daughter of Natalie and Steve. She was 17 at the time. Classmates remembered her channeling Regina George energy from Mean Girls, controlling, image-aware. She graduates, she's on TikTok doing fashion and lifestyle, companies send her stuff, she's basically trying to be an influencer. Her boyfriend is Dominic Russo, who also went to Strongsville High. Their relationship started when she was about 13 and he was 16, on and off with lots of fights and makeup moments. In 2021, she even lived with his family for a while, which, can be cute if you're stable, but this situation was not giving stable. The passengers that day were Dominic, up front in the passenger seat, and Davion Flanagan, 19, in the back. Davion was an athlete in school. His guardian is Jaime Flanagan, and his dream was to become a barber. His family later created the Davion Flanagan Memorial Scholarship for Aspiring Barbers, which is honestly a beautiful way to carry his name forward. Now, the night into morning, friends say the trio hit a graduation party, then another friend's place to chill, listen to music, smoke weed, nothing unheard of, very summer in the suburbs. And then, just after dawn, Mackenzie's Camry takes that slow, deliberate right into an empty industrial loop, accelerates, doesn't brake, and slams passenger side first into the corner of the Plitco building. The impact is catastrophic. First responders arrived roughly 45 minutes later and called it the worst crash they'd seen. The car looked split in two, and they found Mackenzie unconscious with her foot still pressing the accelerator. That detail sits in my head, living rent-free.
Dominic and Davion die at the scene. The physics matter, the brick corner hit the passenger side, concentrating force where Dominic was seated and transferring into the cabin, while Davion in the back was swallowed by the same energy.
That corner becomes this surgical blade of destruction. On Google Earth that year, you can actually see the damaged section covered by a blue plastic sheet. Chills. Okay, back to evidence. Investigators recover psilocybin mushrooms and a digital scale on scene, which is how drug charges get looped in later. But the heart of the case is the car data. Onboard recorder shows acceleration, no braking. An auto expert says the car was in perfect working order. CCTV lines up to the minute. GPS shows she'd been near that exact area a few days before, which prosecutors argue looks like reconnaissance. And the timing, just after 5 a.m., is when the streets are basically empty. Prosecutors say that's deliberate to avoid bystanders. Honestly, that's chilling premeditation if true.
There's context. In the weeks before the crash, a family friend said they heard Mackenzie yell, "I'm going to wreck this car right now." There's also a video from that same period of her threatening to break into Dominic's house.
Dominic's mom, Christine, later alleges there was serious abuse in the months before. Those are allegations, not separate convictions, but they do paint motive vibes when you put them next to the digital receipts. It's like the storyboards line up. Then there's the post-crash behavior. While recovering in the hospital, she posts multiple TikToks. Her following grows, modeling agencies reportedly reach out, and she uploads the satirical line, "I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die." Prosecutors later flagged those posts as lacking remorse. I mean, I get gallows humor is a thing, but after 2 people died in your car, that's a no-go for optics. Epic fail. Legally, here's how it lands. In 2023, a bench trial, no jury, just a judge, with Judge Nancy Margaret Russo presiding. Not related to Dominic, people always ask. The judge called Mackenzie hell on wheels and sentenced her to life with the possibility of parole after 15 years, with a permanent license suspension. She received 2 concurrent life terms, so the parole horizon doesn't stack and stays at 15 years under Ohio rules. Now, the big question everyone shouts in my DMs, was it truly intentional? Mackenzie told police she blacked out and doesn't remember. Her family in 2025 publicly said they think it was unintentional. And look, trauma can mess with memory, that's real. But here's my take. The digital forensics are brutal in their clarity. The CCTV, the GPS pre-visit, the EDR reading gas with no brakes, the empty street, the chosen corner. When machine logs and cameras sing the same song, it's hard to argue the chorus was improvised. I lean toward the court on premeditation. Appeals followed. She filed in 2023 and was denied. A 2025 filing was tossed as untimely, and in early 2026, the 8th District Court of Appeals upheld the conviction, so the verdict stands. Meanwhile, victim families speak out at sentencing. Dominic's mom, Christine, and Davion's sister, Davion, give impact statements that will break you. Community friends set up a memorial at the site. Davion's scholarship launches. The grief goes on after the cameras move. And then there's the cultural fallout. The case exploded across court TV, YouTube, and think pieces. In 2025, Investigation Discovery runs a doc, and in 2026, Netflix drops The Crash from Raw, a UK production under All3Media. Conservative commentator Armstrong Williams wrote an op-ed in 2023 about declining values. Everybody projects their worldview onto this story because it has youth, influencer culture, and a car used as a weapon. It's catnip for modern true crime. How do I feel about the doc wave? Mixed. The visuals are compelling. The tech timeline is like chef's kiss for investigators. But when a show lingers on TikToks and body cam shock value, like the delayed 2025 release of her arrest footage, it can slip into spectacle. Victims become content. We binge and we scroll. I watch and analyze, and I also feel gross afterwards. 2 truths at once. If you want the TLDR on why this case matters, it's the blueprint for how digital forensics, CCTV, GPS, and a car's data recorder can overpower human memory claims. It reframes the backup narrative into a homicide timeline. And it reminds us that choosing 5 a.m., a quiet industrial loop, and a brick corner is not just a vibe, it's a plan. Okay, we covered a lot. Next time I'm diving into another jaw-dropping case where digital breadcrumbs turn a he said, she said into, yeah, the cloud said what it said, you are not ready. So, that's the tea, folks. Think about who you trust behind the wheel and how the data trail is always rolling. Stay safe, be kind, and honestly, text me your hot takes later.